Hey everybody, I'm Andrew, this is Touring Midwest, and in this video we're going to make some changes to the way things are working here on my 2016 Harley-Davidson Road Glide Ultra. I talked to Custom Dynamics last week and they said, hey, you know, we've got this new ProBeam technology, so we're going to go ahead and send that out to you. So I'm actually going to be replacing my Custom Dynamics LED taillight with the new Custom Dynamics ProBeam taillight, which looks a little bit different. And I'm going to be replacing the front turn signals with the new Custom Dynamics ProBeam technology turn signals. So let's go ahead and get into that. And we'll also install the new Custom Dynamics Magic Strobe kits. Now in a previous video I've actually added the Magic Strobe kits and some different lights and accessories from Custom Dynamics. And I'll show you what those do, and then I'll show you what the new ones are going to do. So what we did is with the Magic Strobes, that's like a brake flasher. Now there's 10 different patterns you can set them to. You can set the lower part of the motorcycle to flash or strobe differently than the tour pack. And let me just show you quickly what that looks like. Okay, now as you see, this kind of goes wild down here, and then after 3 seconds it just stays steady. Now the tour pack continues to flash just like this as long as the brake is held. Now if you release the brake, it goes back to normal running lights, and then you push the brake again and it's going to repeat that same pattern. Now I could set these up however I want to between the tour pack and this. But now notice on the tour pack how it's just this center bar here that flashes, which is alright. I mean, if I'm sitting at a stop sign or something and there's no cars behind me and all of a sudden a car comes rolling up on the stoplight not paying attention, hopefully this extra flashing is going to be enough to get their attention. Maybe not. But with the new brake kit from Custom Dynamics, we're actually going to be able to get these lights to flash as well. And at the same time I'm doing that, I'm going to add another module from Custom Dynamics that's going to change these from just running lights to run, brake, and turn lights. So that's going to give us full visibility on the whole side of the tour pack to let other traffic know exactly what our intentions are. They might not be able to see the turn signals on the side or the front, but hopefully they'll be able to see the turn signals on the tour pack. So we're going to do that, but first we're going to add some of Custom Dynamics new technology. So these first two mods are going to be really simple and basic. Changing a taillight and turn signals, whether you're going from stock to Custom Dynamics or from Custom Dynamics to Custom Dynamics like I'm doing right now. Super easy, super quick. So let's start with the taillight. What we're going to do is just simply remove the two screws, one on each side. And then we simply remove the plug. And your old taillight is removed, just that easy. And installing the new one is the same exact way. You're just going to plug it in. Hey everybody, side note, whenever you're doing an install, remember it's very important to check all the parts in the packaging and read the instructions. Because when I was installing this taillight, I completely did not realize that there's a gasket that goes in the taillight. That's right here. So we're going to go ahead, take the ProBeam back off and install the gasket and put it back on. I'm just going to hit this towel with a little bit of alcohol water mix and wipe this down. Insert your screws, and And that is basically it. Your new tail light is installed just like that. Alright, so you can already see that adds a totally different look. This new LED technology, you got these like rows across here. They almost look like LED tubes, and I think it looks pretty cool. Try the brakes. Heck yeah. So that's pretty cool. The LED brakes are separate from your taillight tubes, so man, that looks awesome. That looks really cool. I am super happy with that install. So let's move on to the signal lights in the front. So if you're going from stock to custom dynamics, it's basically the same thing, just you're going to be uninstalling a bulb and then installing these new LEDs. But I have the old style custom dynamics LEDs on right now, so all we got to do is pop off the lens cover, and you might need just a screwdriver, just a flathead screwdriver to get in there. These are just basically set in, but they do rest right against this gasket, so they might be kind of tight against there. But basically, you just have to pull it out, and then you're just gonna push this in and give it a twist and pull it out. See, that looks just like a light bulb. Grab your new light. And these actually came with new lens caps. They do look a bit different. So we're going to try and do a comparison from both sides. But you're just going to insert the socket. It looks like this one you need a screwdriver for. Just make sure you get these lined up where they're supposed to be. Give it a little turn. Just like so. That's going to lock it into place. And then you can kind of just twist those wires up in here. Set your light in place. So now these new ones, the lens cover is smoked where my previous ones were clear. And I don't think that's going to make a huge difference. Wow, this one's actually broken, so it's a good thing I'm switching them out. Let's see if we can get a comparison and see what these things look like. So that's actually surprising, and I don't know if you can tell very good in the video, but the new one is actually brighter. The new ProBeam is brighter. In person, that new ProBeam is definitely brighter. So that would be the one on the left side of the bike, but the right side of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the flashers quick and see what that looks like. Again, it's really hard to tell on the video, but the new one, the ProBeam, is definitely way brighter than the old style LED. And it's also a star pattern, which you can't see on the video. But yeah, they are definitely cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other side changed, and we'll be right back to do our tour pack stuff. Alright, so that's super cool. We got our lights installed. Now we just got to do the magic strobe upgrades and we're good to go. That's going to take a little bit of work, but first we got to get this tour pack cleaned out because, oh my gosh, it is an unorganized mess. I need to get this cleaned up anyway, so I guess it's probably a good thing that we have to do it this way. But I'm going to need a box. So the nice thing is that's a really great opportunity to clean out your tour pack and get it organized again, because I had so much stuff just thrown in here, not organized, but I've had a lot going on. Anyway, so next step is going to be to remove the seat from the motorcycle so you can access some wires. Once your seat is removed, you can see this cluster of wires here, and my custom dynamics magic strobe here. Now this is the Custom Dynamics Magic Strobe. This is the original one I had. This one's for the tour pack. The one for the lower part of the bike is farther back here by the battery compartment. So what we're going to do first to start off is we're just going to remove the old Custom Dynamics Magic Strobe. And that can be done by just pushing the button here and pulling that out. And the same thing on this one here. Now the old Magic Strobe is removed, and this is the new Magic Strobe. Now keep in mind that also we're going to be installing this wiring harness, which is going to control those sidearm lights on the tour pack. So what you want to do is make sure that you put the Magic Strobe on before the wire harness in that right order, in that correct order. If you see, this is your main wire harness right here that comes up. This part goes into your tour pack. So you're going to want to connect the Magic Strobe to the incoming line. And then connect your wiring harness, and then run that wiring harness to your tour pack. So that's kind of the way that's going to go. And now this is why we had to take everything out of the tour pack, because we need to get inside the tour pack to get these wires run to the appropriate sidearm connectors. And this is where it's likely, and this is where things are likely to get a little bit weird, because we actually have to disconnect the tether on our tour pack. So we don't want the weight of our tour pack to be rested just on the hinges of the tour pack without the support of the tether. So we need to find a way to support that. Now, if you had a buddy to help you out that could hold that lid to keep it secure, that would be really cool. I have buddies somewhere, but not here, so I'm going to try and use some bungee cords and support it that way. Alright, so what I've done is just attached a couple bungee cords from the tour pack up to the garage door opener track, and that's going to hold my lid secure, so we don't have to worry about it. So that should work. So now that the strain is off of the tether, I can actually unscrew this tether. And pull out my tour pack liner. So once our tour pack liner is removed, that leaves this plate that we just need to remove the screws from. Once we remove these few screws and the nuts and washers on either side of these 4 bolts, we can then lift this plate and actually unplug these ground wires for now. And just set that up out of the way. Now you want to be somewhat careful at this point, because your tour pack is no longer connected to your motorcycle at this point. So keep that in mind. So the next thing I want to do is push this grommet out and set that aside for the time being. And now we can actually run those connectors through that hole in the tour pack. So you'll notice that one of these connections is longer than the other one. The longer one is going to go to obviously this side of your motorcycle, and the shorter side is going to go to the right side of your motorcycle. Now these actually replace your factory wires, so there will be no use for those basically at this time. Before we test them, let's just get this plate back installed, because this actually grounds everything. And make sure that you're not pinching any of your new wiring, obviously, but let's check this out. So if we did this right, when I hit the brakes, this whole row should actually be flashing. And it is. Also, notice, if you can, that the sidearm lights are also flashing. So now you've got better signal all the way across here, also on the sides. Let me try the blinkers. Notice we got the blinkers here, which is really cool. So now you've not only got this little bit of signal from the side, but also the entire length of your tour pack light is also now a signal. So just a little added visibility. Super awesome. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get this all bolted back together. Let me make sure the other side works. And it does. Hazards. And they do. Good deal. Alright, let's get this baby put back together. So my main deal is here, I just don't want any of this wiring to get pinched underneath that plate. So I'm just using some zip ties to actually run it along the old main wire harness. It won't really matter too much once the plate is in place, but just for the time being. And if there's anything that you need to stash somewhere, there you go. Stash it away. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I never tighten everything down until after I get everything in place and make sure it's all lined up right. Alright, so our tour pack is secure, I think. If you have a torque wrench, it would be best to check what the specs are supposed to be and actually torque it down. I don't have a torque wrench, but I do have a buddy that's a mechanic, so I might bring it over to his place and see if he could torque it for me. Unfortunately, we do have to ride tomorrow, so hopefully it holds up alright for the ride. Now we want to put our tour pack lining back in, and then right away we want to make sure that we get our tether attached so we don't somehow forget about that. Alright, so that's basically it. That's the end of my project for the day. I basically had to get the wiring underneath the seat kind of settled up or whatever so I don't get pinched anywhere, and put the seat back on, and essentially that is all. Now if you want to adjust the settings for the Magic Strobe, that's real easy. So this little knob right here has your selections. These two switches are for turn signal, whether you want just the brakes to flash or just the turn signal to flash or whatever. So you can control each of those individually, and then here's your selector to select which pattern you want to switch it to. So that is going to do it for this video, you guys, but thanks for hanging out with me here in the garage. I've got my back in the garage hat. This is not mine. I mean, it is my hat, but it's not my back in the garage thing. That is Mario Orsini over at Two Wheeled Riders, so hey, check him out. Grab some merch if he has any left, and that's going to do it. Stay safe out there as always. We'll catch you in the next video from Touring Midwest.